You say, of course, there's not any trickery involved in this. This is some kind of ability, or I think as you phrase it, a strength or power that seems to come to
I
you or
call it
given
a
to you?
power. I call it a sort of a power. I have no specific name for it.
Hmm.
I know that things that are moved without touching them or bent are called psychokinesis,
Right.
and telepathy is telepathy. But there are no tricks here. If I do it, it's done with real powers.
Once upon a time, there was a man who claimed he could bend spoons with his mind. There was another man who built a machine that could turn blank paper into money. And there were others who had magic potions that would cure whatever ailed you. I'm Jim Grinstead, and today on Scams and Cons, we're going to talk about tricksters. These are scammers who use props and misdirection to take your money. They don't pretend to be police or bank officers or anything other than honest purveyors of goods, services, or abilities. I begin with the tale of Uri Geller. Geller claimed he had the power of telekinesis. He could move objects simply with his mind. He claimed he could find hidden objects or draw an image of what was hidden inside 2 envelopes. He most often said he didn't know where his power came from, but a biographer said Geller once claimed his powers came from the distant planet Huva through its spacecraft spectra. Luckily, the alien spoke English. He amazed audiences around the world, but his powers didn't always work, and he didn't always feel strong enough to provide a demonstration. Still, the Stanford Research Institute ran scientific tests and vouched for his abilities. Others disagreed. Mostly magicians who'd been doing these tricks for decades. One of them was the amazing Randy, who made it his mission to debunk Geller. He even replicated Geller's acts in front of audiences without the aid of beings from another planet. It should be noted that Randy profited from his efforts through performances, appearances, and several books. Then came Johnny Carson, the famed late-night host and amateur magician. He invited Geller to be on the show. What he didn't tell Geller was that Randy had advised the show on what props to have on stage and to keep Geller's people away from them. In fact, when Geller walked on stage, he was surprised to see the props, the same type of props used in the Stanford experiments.
Would you welcome, please, Uri Geller? Nice to see you.
Thanks.
We have only met.
This scares me.
This scares you? Well, we just got some things together here, and as I said, as you progress and do what you want to do tonight, well, you
Right.
can tell us what you would like to try, and we'll leave it up to you.
I'll try when I'll really feel up to it, okay?
Several types of spoons were available to bend. Multiple film cans were present so Geller could identify which one had liquid in it. Another set of cans contained a hidden object. And there was a drawing done by a crew member earlier in the day. No one on the set knew what was where. Geller was cornered on one of the most watched shows on TV. Geller said he expected to be asked questions. Carson politely offered to ask questions if Geller wasn't up to demonstrating his powers, but Geller acknowledged that the show was important to him and he wanted to try. Through fits, starts, and commercial breaks, Geller was unable to rally his powers.
Okay, let me rest a little, all right?
All right.
You know, I'm surprised because before this program, your producer came and he read me at least 40 questions you're going to ask me.
Well, I can ask you all kinds of
Well,
questions if you'd like. If you'd like me to ask you questions.
I have to have time, and give me a little more time.
All right. Now
Yeah.
we're gonna
not gonna touch it.
we'll cut away from a commercial, and I will verify, and everybody in the studio will verify that
Okay.
nobody will touch the objects. Okay?
Right.
Because I don't want to push it on that, but obviously we don't have unlimited time on a television show. I wish we did.
Who knows? Sunspots may have interfered with his interplanetary powers. As scientists learn more about magic, many withdrew their endorsement of Geller's powers, including some from the Stanford study. These days, Geller has mostly retired from public appearances and says he's working with oil companies to find new deposits. The names of those companies, of course, must remain confidential. As for Randy, he died in 2020. I can't call Geller a scammer. I can't know what's in his mind or what invisible forces he can muster. My research did turn up an interview with one of Geller's former managers who said early on that Geller called himself a magician, and the manager helped set up props for the show. I haven't been able to find a transcript or audio of that claim to verify it. Speaking of invisible powers, let's talk about your cell phone. We all constantly get spam calls trying to buy our houses, sell us something, or fish out personal information. I know many people who just don't answer the phone if they don't recognize the number, and that's not bad advice. If it's important, they can leave voicemail, so make sure your voicemail box is free of spam calls so there's room for that important message to be delivered. Even then, scammers have ways of sending messages directly to your voicemail without your phone ringing. If you listen to one of those, be very cautious about what they ask you to do. Now we turn to a scam flooding the state of New Mexico. Phones are ringing with warnings of unpaid tolls that need to be paid. If you live in New Mexico, don't worry. There are no toll roads in your state. And here's a call I received recently.
Hi, this is Taylor with Miranda Presley's office at the Federal Tax Adjustment Division. I have Miranda on the line. Please hold while I connect you to her now.
The requested line is now ready. To proceed, select 1 on your telephone keypad to be connected. Please act now, otherwise, this call will automatically disconnect in 10 seconds if no input is received. Again, select 1 on your telephone keypad to be connected.
I likely don't need to point out that we don't know anything about a federal tax adjustment division. They want us to assume it's the U.S. government, and if you want us to assume that, it's probably best not to use a British voice as part of your scam. Oh, and about that 10-second wait, the recording went on for nearly 3 minutes. And of course, never press 1 or any other number. There's no telling what mischief waits. Just hang up. Another call spreading around the country begins by asking if you're there. They want you to say yes because that could be spliced into another part of the conversation so it sounds as if you agreed to buy something. Then there are fake cell phone towers. How are you going to spot one of those? The answer is, you can't. They're small enough to fit in the trunk of a car and are often placed in public areas where they can send out spam that would be blocked by legitimate carriers. The Washington Post explains how those work.
The devices are known as International Mobile Subscriber Identity, IMSI, catchers, or cell phone site simulators. Hackers can swipe your phone number, your phone's unique electronic serial number, metadata about past phone numbers you dialed, and even information about past cell phone towers your phone has pinged. Normally, your phone pings the nearest cell phone tower to allow you to text, call, or use your data. When an IMSI catcher is on, it forces nearby phones to register with it rather than the nearest cell phone tower. The most powerful IMSI catcher, according to AP, can be deployed in low-flying aircraft. AP also reported that more sophisticated versions can eavesdrop on calls by forcing phones to step down to an older, unencrypted 2G wireless technology, and some attempt to plant malware. These devices can range in size and price. IMSI catchers are often the size of a briefcase, but they can be made as small as a cell phone, and they can cost up to $200,000. These devices aren't anything new. They've been used by federal and local law enforcement for years. The ACLU has identified 73 agencies in 25 states and the District of Columbia that own stingrays. Harris Corp, a tech company from Melbourne, Florida, has manufactured these surveillance devices for years.
You should know that audio is more than 7 years old as I record this, and the situation hasn't gotten any better. Airports are great places to locate these devices, but security usually makes it more difficult than it's worth. For scammers, it's just another problem to be solved. The answer is juice jacking. Imagine you're a poor, weary traveler whose cell phone battery is running low. Then before your eyes, there's a kiosk that offers to charge your phone quickly for a fee. You're grateful because you can fill up and still catch your plane. It's great news for scammers, too, because they can fill up their phones with your data faster than you can put your credit card back in your wallet. The TSA says, quote, hackers can install malware at USB ports, so when you're at an airport, do not plug your phone directly into a USB port. Bring a TSA-compliant power brick or battery pack and plug in there. End quote. Power outlets cannot be hacked the way USB ports can, so you can safely recharge with no worries. What you should worry about are your tax dollars and whether your local government is doing enough to protect them. I know I keep harping on this, but it keeps happening with increasing frequency. One of the latest cases is in Mesa, Colorado. According to KKCO,
the amount that was paid was $272,000 and a little bit over that.
The payment was part of a contract with U.S. Imaging, a company that puts together documents for the clerk's and recorder's office. The contract included 3 phases of payments. Phase 1 went by with no problem.
Phase 2, after the completion, we received an invoice as was expected. A second email was sent that changed the wiring instructions, and it was a spoof email.
Mesa County wired those funds to a different person or entity, falling victim to the scam.
And the funds are now lost.
Rubenstein says the email looked real.
To a lot of these emails, you'll see there's grammatical errors or misspellings, or it's got kind of a funky email. None of that existed in this case.
The county got about half of the money back through insurance, and the imaging company also gave the county a discount to go through with the rest of the contract. Still, Rubenstein says they're doing everything they can to cooperate with law enforcement and get the money back.
It's important to know that while Mesa County may be reimbursed for some of its loss, it's the scammer that got all the money and no punishment. Everyone else, including the taxpayers, got stuck with the bill. Encourage your public officials to mandate training on how to recognize and deal with these fraud attempts. Just take down the requested changes, but don't make them. Call someone at the company who's trusted and ask them if they want to make the change. They can confirm or deny whether the request is legit. Awareness training can stop a lot of this. Staying on the topic of money, we told you in a previous episode about a scam that involves selling boxes that print money. In that ruse, a scammer produces a box that when he turns a crank, a blank sheet of paper becomes a $100 bill. He explained that because the chemicals in the machine needed time to refresh, it could only print 3 bills a day. People paid thousands of dollars for a machine, each of which was preloaded with several $100 bills. By the time those ran out, the scammers had left town with real cash money in their pockets. The equivalent scam today is called check washing. Scammers steal real checks you've written and use a common chemical to alter the amount and to whom the check was to be paid. One scammer made a video of how to do it.
I'm about to show you we're about to do this together because I haven't even done it. Normally I use car titles. I don't use them, but I use this process for car titles. But a subscriber of mine asked about checks. I don't know. This is my first time. Normally I don't deal in checks. I deal in cash only, cash money. So we're about to go through this together. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you asked. I don't care. I'm just experimenting. This is experimenting. I am no way. This is a disclaimer. I'm not responsible for whatever you got going on. If you get, you know what I'm saying. I am not responsible. This is for educational purposes. You know what? Not even educational. This is for entertainment purposes only. Keep that in mind, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, I'm finna dive right into it. All right, I'm at my trusty dusty workbench. You say trusty dusty. This is an actual check. It's a real deal check. Well, I don't even know what he meant by can he use it on checks. So I'm gonna just start with the signature. I don't know why he would want to remove a signature, but let's try it.
And it works. There's some easy ways to protect yourself from having your check altered. The first is to deposit the check inside a post office building where scammers can't fish them out of mailboxes. The second is to buy security checks the next time you place an order. They're resistant to tampering. And lastly, use gel pens to write the check. They won't react to the chemical. That said, hackers have already figured out how to hack payment systems like Venmo or how to swipe your credit card information just by walking past you. Some pose as bank officers and call you to tell you your account is in danger and all your cash must be converted into gift cards. There's no way to be 100% safe. Just stay aware and do business with people you trust. If you enjoy the show, please tell your friends and encourage them to listen. And give us a 5-star rating wherever you listen. It's important to help people find the show. If you want to share some feedback with me, I have a feature that allows you to send me a text. To protect your privacy, I can't text back, but I want to hear from you and what you have to say. You may even get a shout out on the show. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Scams and Cons. Thanks for listening.